the numbers from Jeff last month, I mean, we're gonna be looking at $2 million worth of development cost by the time this is done. So I think it's in our best interest to do a TIF. And I would like to be well out in front of this process this time around. I've had a brief conversation with Chad Moeller, and he's kind of offered to be our point man on this to pursue. So I don't know that we need any formal motion or anything tonight, but just I want you guys to know that I would like to pursue that. So I'm going to kind of empower Chad to start looking at it and report back. Our city attorney and their office are well versed in how to do this, so they'll be a great help. But obviously that will create some legal expense for us as well. But I think in the long term, it's the best thing to do to help get this development done. So just want you guys to know that we're going to look at that.
It's not abnormal for developers to do that either.
Absolutely not.
I mean,
No.
Sioux Falls does it all over. So.
Let's see. Okay, we added C. So you got a stapled packet here. This was submitted today. We have an interested party, and this would be for one of the lots along 4th Street. Not a corner one. We have all of the strip ones, so this would be like lot 2 through 7. Those are all the same size. They're all the same price. Those lots, I don't remember what the square footage is on them. I want to say those were like 13.2 or something like that. The plan that you see, our covenants specifically state that any lot that's over 12,000 square feet has to have, if it's a ranch style home, has to be 1,500 square feet on the main. But our covenants also state right above that this board is allowed to give a waiver to that if it's petitioned and if the home is of like construction, like value to the other ones around it. In the 4-year history of this board, it's actually only been brought to us one other time. And they were actually, the measurements that they were using weren't quite correct, and they were actually just over it by about 5 square feet. So it's really never even come to a vote before. This one, one of the pages here says it's 1,307 square feet. In the instance of the one that I'm talking about, where we came up with like 1,504, we actually did use exterior dimension. And if you use exterior dimension on this floor plan, you're actually at about 1,420. So it's 80 square feet less than our requirement is. I mean, in my estimation, it looks like it meets everything else. It's got still got a 3-stall garage. It's got all the brick across the front. It would be like a garden lookout, with the backyard to the highway. And personally, I think we're going to have to be a little flexible with those lots because they're not as deep as they appear to be with the easements that are in place on them. So they haven't committed to a lot. I guess what they've really said is they're interested in one of those lots, and they're interested in putting this home on that lot.
I guess my only question would be, if they're only, what did you say, 80 square feet?
They're about 80 square feet short.
Where do we start and stop? Is all I guess my question is, I mean, if we've got something in writing, and I mean we're close, how how do we make what's close? I'm sure this house is gonna be nice, I'm sure, I certainly don't wanna rip a lot out of their hands, that's what I don't want to do.
Did you hear anything back from them on value at all?
350.
Really?
The plan is to put high-end finishes in it,
Sure.
to take it from the next level up to 350. It could be higher, it could, just depends on the market, 360.
I think, not my fear, I feel a responsibility to the other people that have purchased lots from us over the last 4 years to make sure that, something of similar value gets built next door to them. And for comparison's sake, this monster lot down here that we did, where they moved that house in. Well, I did look at what their assessed value is, and it's $350,000. And that's on a significantly larger lot. So,
And I think they need to be aware too, because everybody else had to build to that, they could have maybe come in with some smaller houses to get around it, but I'll make sure they know what's going on, and the value is there, so we don't need to put something there. It looks like a nice house.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that if they're gonna spend that much money, they're not gonna get chintzy on their landscaping and stuff like that too. So it's gonna look nice, it's gonna be nice, it's gonna probably meet the money criteria.
What is the square footage on the twin homes that Ray's put in on that stretch?
well, Ray's not putting in twin homes, they're slab on grade villa style, unattached, but I believe they are still just a tick over 1,500 square feet.
Those lots are
Well,
pretty.
if we put something in there that if we agree to it, it would be, would they have to maintain a certain price point? So we don't get into that lower finish in that neighborhood? If you maintain a dollar amount value-wise, cost to build?
I mean,
I don't know.
with the prices now, Chad, I agree with you. I think you're gonna have a tough time building something this size for less than $350,000, so.
Right.
But if things go the other way, and you can do that later, I think we have to have something that sticks. I mean, like you say, these lots are a little smaller, so it's gonna look every bit as big as the next guy, so I think, some smoke and mirrors will be fine. Like I say, I don't want somebody to not build a house, especially at that price point there.
80 square feet shorter isn't a lot, but then again, it brings up the next guy, I'm only 100 square feet short.
Yeah, so we've got to decide that. Do we have any,
mean-
what does it say in our, what can we do? It doesn't have a particular.
It says that it has those minimums, and it says that they can be, you know what, I'll just read it for you exactly, because it's right in the covenants, it's right above that point.
I want to build it.
So what it says right out of our covenants is, each residence constructed upon the property shall conform to the following requirements, except that the minimum square footage requirements may be waived by the developer if the cost and style of the construction is such that the new dwelling is consistent with the cost, type, and styles of surrounding properties. Waiver must be requested in writing to the attention of the developer. So part of that is this: we don't have any request in writing from them asking for it. I mean, quite honestly, with where we've gone with Ray Schmidt, and he never asked about making them smaller. We just said that they had to be 1,500 square feet on his twin homes. If they add 2 more feet to this house, it's 1,500 square feet.
Right.
I mean, that's all it is. You know, it's a 46 wide house. If they're short, you add 2 feet to those bedrooms on the right-hand side or something, and you're at the magic number.
I think at this point, we want to get lots sold, so I'm kind of in favor of it as long as they maintain that upper end finish at 300,000 plus finish.
Do you know how quickly they were looking to move on this?
Went back and forth quite a bit. Her all done plans will be done in 2 weeks. So she's been shopping. She said, if you look at surrounding cities, and I'll vouch for it, these are the cheapest lots there are.
I know.
But she doesn't, in her words, she doesn't want the space, like the outside. She just wants high-end finishes, everything finished. So, definitely a question I could ask.
Well, let
Even
me
adding
pro-
on the 2 more square, the 2 more feet.
Yeah, let me propose this. I mean, our first preference, I think, would be if they would just add 2 feet on and get over that 50, if they're over it by 6 inches, then we have nothing to talk about. If not, then we need something in writing as a request to amend from the written requirement. And I think before I could really move on it, I would need some type of construction estimate or something from them saying, this is how much it's gonna cost to build this house. So that we can, you know, like I said, I guarantee you, I'm gonna ration it up my yin-yang.
Well, we gotta be careful.
Well, no matter, like I said, this would be the first one that we would do, and that would set a precedent.
Right.
So, I just don't wanna, start a problem.
Yeah.
So, one of those 2 routes, I mean,
Okay.
we don't need to do anything official tonight. If they're looking to move fast, I don't have any problem calling a special meeting to look at it. If they, if they can put that together in a couple days or whatever. But I think that's where we're at.
Okay.
Okay? Quick update, old business, update on lot closings. We have 4 lots, the 4 up along 4th Street. I believe that those are gonna close on Friday. Patrick, our attorney, is handling that closing since Ray and his father-in-law are both closing in cash. So that all the title work has been drawn up, and I think they're just waiting for him to finish drawing it up so they can go sign it and write a check. So those are done. The lot 56, we redid their purchase agreement to close by the 1st of June, right?
They're on schedule with that. The appraisal was Monday.
Yeah, so they should be closing probably next week, I would assume. And we just signed a purchase agreement, I signed it on Saturday for lot 55. So, that's, 6 lots probably within the next month or so, which is, it's a great start.
Yeah.
Need about 5 or 6 more.
Yep.
So that's where we're at with lots and lots reserved. The last thing that I had, I just wanted to update you on the rezoning of our West Avenue property for the daycare. The city council had their first reading Monday night. No one came to speak for or against it, so it will go to a second reading at the June meeting, then it will be done. Once that's done, then we are going to petition to replat it. That mass of land is still actually legally listed as 2 separate lots still. So once it's been zoned as general business, right, then we'll replat to combine it into 1 lot. It'll make everything easier for the transaction. So those wheels are still in motion. We just got to wait for the municipal process to play itself out. So, I had one, just a quick update from Jeff. He apologized for not being able to be here, but he might have potentially been exposed over the weekend, so he's quarantining at home. DGR has done the work for the Tahoe survey of the land across the street. We should have that back probably next week, and that will determine a lot about where we sit with the lift station and so forth. So DGR is working as we asked them to.
Is there, how many lots are there, remember?
Potentially, about 80.
About 80.
About 80 is what we're at, depending upon how it gets laid out. They had originally, when they were thinking about developing it, they had worked with SARE to have it drawn up, and they had about 72 or 74 lots. DGR did 2 different versions for us already, just quick, down dirty, and they were at like 81 and 80 in each of those versions. So they were about that range. So, again, the vast majority of them in that smaller lot, either
Right.